Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden.
Hi you guys.
Hey guys, we're back. We were off for a couple days.
I know, you guys, I'm not gonna be on video much today because I still have a really bad ear infection, so I can't hear out of my right ear.
But she's feeling a lot better.
I'm just happy to be here and up and moving around. So we missed you guys. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yep, hope you're having a great summer. You know, we were gone for just a couple days,
I know,
but not bad.
It feels like it was longer.
Yeah, it does. So guys, today we're out. We're gonna do a summer deadheading extravaganza out here in our garden, front and backyard.
Yeah, we're gonna cover 5 different summer blooming plants, including Shasta daisies, petunias.
Yep, verbena, buddleia, and geraniums.
And sorry, there's a big tree being taken down behind us in the neighborhood, so it's a little bit noisy, but hopefully it won't be too distracting.
Yep. So with that, guys, let's get to it. So before we get into deadheading all these different plants that we just told you about, we want to tell you there's different reasons to deadhead plants. And one of the reasons is you want to have a nice, tidy looking plant. You don't want to have spent blooms amongst all of the nice, fresh looking blooms, and you want to keep things looking maintained and clean. So that's one reason to go through and deadhead plants. Another reason to deadhead your flowers is because your plants have already reached their biological need to reproduce. They don't need to flower anymore. They've met that quota, they've met that requirement. So they don't want to put that much more energy and all the resources into producing more flowers because they've already done what they set out to do. So they stop flowering. And so you might want to come through and deadhead certain plants, certain flowers, because you want to have them continue to flower and not reach that point where they shut down and stop flowering biologically. Now, if you want to know more about plants or just gardening in general, you might be a first-time gardener, you might be a very well-seasoned gardener. Our new book, The First-Time Gardener, Growing Plants and Flowers, would be great for any gardener out there if you want to learn more and get a different perspective on taking inventory of your plants, knowing the different kind of plant types, even into planting, seed sowing, maintenance like pruning and watering and mulching. It covers it all. And so go ahead and check that link down below for our new book, The First Time Gardener, Growing Plants and Flowers, on Amazon. So guys, here we are again in front of our Shasta daisies here, and you've seen us. We had a plant chat on this a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, and so you saw it in its full bloom, its full glory. We've already come through and actually cut some of the spent blooms out of here. We've already deadheaded it, and actually that was a couple days ago. There's some now that need to be deadheaded out even more. So it kind of runs in this cycle. Now we're on this side of the plant over here, and again, sorry about all the noise, guys. So we're on this side of the plant over here. You can see where we made some cuts already, where we already deadheaded this Shasta daisy, and you can see this was cut down to here, and for this, to keep this flower right here, and then also down below that, there's another bloom actually coming in. So once this bloom up above has gone through its cycle and it starts really withering, we're gonna take this, we're gonna come down to this part of the stem, and we're gonna cut just above where this flower is coming in right here and these leaves are. We'll cut on the stem right there, and then that'll remove the old flower. We're deadheading, and we're gonna encourage that new flower to develop and open up. So now that we've showed you what we've done in the past and we've reintroduced you to our beautiful Shasta daisy plants here, I'm gonna show you how to actually make another cut, a fresh cut, when you have a spent bloom on the Shasta daisies, and where to cut it to keep encouraging it to flower. Now, some Shasta daisies will keep continuing to bloom whether you deadhead them or not. Ours don't. We have to go through and we have to deadhead them to get those old flowers out so the seeds don't literally set and that biological need is done for the year, so we can continue to have new flowers come up. And so I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So today, to make all these cuts and do all this deadheading, I'm actually going to use my favorite, the Corona Classic Cut bypass pruners. These are 1-inch size, and Allison likes 3/4 inch size. So you'll be able to find both of those links down below if you want to check those out on Amazon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and I've found this bloom right here. I can see it's got faded white petals on it. It's looking kind of peaked. It's starting to, wither a little bit. And so this is on its way out. We want to get this off because right below here, we've got a new flower bud coming in, and we want to encourage that to grow. So what we need to do to encourage this to grow is cut all of this away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my classic cuts. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to look down here. It's attached down here, so I'm going to make my cut on this stem just above that. And I'm just going to go right there. I'm just going to make my cut just like that. and you can see the old bloom goes away, that spent bloom goes away, we've deadheaded literally, and now we're going to encourage this new flower to keep growing and developing. And we can continue this. You can see just below this too, we made those cuts earlier this week, and you can see we did the same cut to encourage that bloom and encourage this bloom right here, and to encourage this bloom that you might be able to see right there, maybe not. Let's see. There you go. Yeah, so there it is right there. So this is how we deadhead our Shasta daisies to encourage them to keep flowering and to also keep them looking fresh, keep them looking nice and tidy and beautiful. So guys, got a couple more to take care of, as you can see, so let's get in here and let's get it done. So here's another one. You can see it's discolored. Yep, ready to go. Now I'm on this one. This is a little different. It's got this flower on it and this flower on the same stem, main stem. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cut just above this flower right here because we want to keep that one. It's still doing pretty good. So I'm just going to cut that away, and there you go. And we're still encouraging these to develop and to be beautiful and stay on. Now here's another one right here. Now this one, this is a different stem right here. I can see down here, and maybe you can too, there's a flower bud right in there. See that little guy right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just above that. Here, let's see. There we go. There we go. Just cut right there. Make that cut. And now we've removed that part of the stem and that flower again. Looks like we got one that just got too bad. It's a little bent there in a couple places. Let's look down here and let's see if we can find any flower buds to prune this to. Well, there might be one right in here behind here. So I'm going to cut that. See that right there? Maybe, maybe not. No. Well, we're going to cut it anyway. We'll see what happens. So, yep, just keep going here. Oh, look at this. We got a twofer. Both of these are on their way out. Oh, and there, if we come down the stem from these, there's the newest flower to develop. All we got to do is just make a cut just above. And there we go. So now we are over here with our petunias, and we got some verbena here too. And oh guys, this is kind of funny. So we have dueling chainsaws behind us. You can see, you see that large tree in the background there? It's got that blue rope hanging down and all that rigging on it. That's the tree they're working on. They're literally limbing it, taking all the big limbs off of it, and then they're dropping them down, and they're doing their thing. So that's what we got going on behind us. Anyway, okay, so petunias, deadheading. Now, petunias, you don't need to actually deadhead them. They kind of self-clean. They just kind of keep blooming whether they have spent blooms or not, and they set seed or not. So we like to deadhead our petunias because it keeps it a lot cleaner. It keeps it looking fresher, and we just like that. That's something we like. Whatever you like to do, that's great too. And before I get in here and start deadheading this super petunia here, this is actually a proven winner's fuchsia super petunia. So it's fuchsia colored super petunia. It spreads, you can see it trails down. It's great. It's a beautiful plant. So, okay, plug that. Let's get in here. So what we have here is we've got some flowers that are actually, that's on its way out. And so you can see it looks kind of twisted. It's just kind of starting to wither and rot. It's just not looking that great. So we want to get that out of there. We got to kind of get in here. So you got to take this bloom, come all the way back to where it's attached at, and just clip it off. And it's just something like that. You might find that you need to clip off more than that, depending on how many of these flowers have actually withered here. But I mean, on this one, it's just one here, one there. Oops, got a little too much there. And yeah, so, and again, you don't have to do this because the super petunias will keep flowering, but because this does get kind of intricate and detailed with this. But if you don't mind doing it and you like to have a clean plant, I would recommend going and doing this. So yep, so I'm just going back to each point of attachment on each one of these little guys here, each one of these spent flowers. And oh, that one just came off. But so even if you come in and you take off like that, you take off the withered part of the flower, the petals there, you're still going to have something that looks like this. And which isn't a bad deal. It still has these modified leaves on it, these sepals underneath the flower, and they'll photosynthesize to a point, but you're going to have a lot more of these as the season progresses, and you're going to see a lot more of this type of growth, which you might or might not want to see. We particularly don't like to see these. We like to see more of these leaves, you know, the regular leaves and all the new growth coming in. So we will go through, like I said, and come through and deadhead these. So here's one on its way out. So starting to wither. We'll get that one. Yep. And again, come in, find your point of attachment, clip it, get it out of there. So guys, I think everything's good here. I think we're ready to move on to Verbena. So Verbena, right? Beautiful and so different from these petunias that we were just deadheading. Now look at these guys. It's a cluster of these little flowers on basically one stem. It is on one stem there, and then some of these cluster right off of those too. And isn't that beautiful? Now we go through and we deadhead these again for the cleanliness. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look for, now you can see here, here's one. It's got some dead blooms right here on this stem. It's got some that are still kind of doing good, but they're on their way out. You can tell they're faded and all that. So what you're gonna do is on this, you're gonna find where this stem goes back down. And right here you can see it comes down to this stem, and this crossing right here, it's got a branch, it's got a lateral branches coming off here with leaves and then other flowers on top of those. So we're just gonna cut right here, just above that junction of these laterals, and there you go. That's deadheading on Verbena. We can go through and we can look for some other ones. There's some other ones in here. Now here's, yeah, so this is further into the canopy again. Find that point of attachment and cut that off, because we wanna keep the rest of this, because all these other branches and stems and stuff, they're actually flowering. And we can come in here again and we can come in and get this. Go down there, there we go. Yeah, this one's a little bit tougher. Now, as you can tell, this Verbena, it just keeps on flowering whether it has spent blooms on it or not. So, but we want to keep them clean. We don't want any diseases or anything to develop here either. So that's another reason to make sure that you don't have dead or dying tissue on your plants and go through and deadhead your flowers, because you don't want to make sure that the bugs and such have a nice place to nest and eat on. Now, moving on to geraniums, Pelargonium geraniums to be specific. That's zonals and ivies. We've got two zonals out here. Actually, we've got a couple zonals out here, but two of them that we really want to show you to deadhead. Now, you don't have to deadhead these geraniums to keep them blooming. They'll just keep blooming, but you should deadhead them if you want to keep them nice and tidy, and also make sure that there's not any opportunities for like earwigs and other pests to come in and eat that rotting dead tissue. So we have this guy over here. You can see it's got a really long flower stem on it, and it goes all the way down there, right down here to this point of attachment here. Now sometimes you can just pop these off with your hand. You can go ahead and do that, but you're going to run the risk of hurting the rest of the tissue around it and below it. So the best thing to do is take your clippers, take your hand shears or your micro snips, come down, get as close as you can, and then just cut that off. It's going to leave a little bit of that stem there, but that's okay. That'll be fine, because later that piece will die. In a couple weeks, you can come in with your finger and then literally push and take that off, and that'll be okay. And it'll be less damaging to the plant overall, where right now it's really attached really well, and you can end up damaging another part of the plant. So that's why we're coming through and clipping them. So looks like that's pretty good there. Let's go over to this other guy. Oh, look at this, guys. Isn't this beautiful? It's still, even with these blooms kind of on their downhill run here, they look beautiful. Just that red center and that white outer part of that petal. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, sure. This is a zonal geranium. This is American White Splash. This is a beautiful geranium. All right, so we got a couple here we want to take off. Again, you can kind of just come in and you can try and just pop these off, but again, you can damage the plant if you keep doing that. So try to come in and cut these. I'm going to come down here on this one, just cut it right there. Just do that. And then, yeah, we've got, actually, this is a multiple. This is interesting. So this one's not as bad, but we're still going to cut them both off, because you can see here's some new growth coming in here. And so we want to kind of open this up, get rid of these dead blooms. So we're just going to follow them back to their point of attachment, cut them off. Yep, there we go. Now look at that. Doesn't that look a lot better? I think so. Let's go down here. There we go. There's this guy. Cut her back there. Looking good, looking good. Okay, actually a lot of these are on their way out. We might as well just take the rest of these off, and we'll encourage this geranium to really keep flowering. So guys, that's how we deadhead our Pelargonium geraniums. Let's move on to Buddleia. Let's go look at the Buddleias. So now we're in the backyard. We're looking at a butterfly bush. This is Buddleia. This is a new plant. We just transplanted it, maybe not even a week ago. And so it's going through a little bit of transplant shock, but it's gonna love its new location here where we've got it. Now you can see we've got some blooms that are doing their thing. They're looking okay, but it's not like what these were before. But you can see these are the first blooms of the year that we had once we got this plant. And they're done. They've already gone to seed, and you can see there's a couple of them that we need to get rid of here. We need to prune out so we can encourage the new flowers coming in. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our pruners. Oh yeah, and right here too, see, you can see there's a grouping of a cluster of those buds right there, and that's down below this spent flower. So before I get in and start deadheading this Buddleia, this butterfly bush, this is actually a proven winner's Pugster Pinker. What a name. This is a beautiful new butterfly bush that we just got. So coming in here, we can see there's the new cluster of flowers that's coming in after these. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna take this flower, I'm gonna come down this and cut right there. So now the plant's gonna know that this is gone. It can start to develop this flower now, and this will grow out and we'll get more blooms similar to these down here. So I have a couple more of these to get. Again, there's gonna be some clusters that, see that swelling there? That is, those are the new flowers, that new cluster of flowers developing. So I need to come in here and prune this. And there's another one on the other side there. So I need to be careful, but I need to just get in here and do that. There we go. Yep. And we're accomplishing our goal too of having this flower, this plant look fresher, feel fresher, and just look clean. So all around, this is a great thing going on here. So come in here. Now this one's interesting. There's no side branching coming off like the other ones were, where there's new clusters of flowers potentially starting to grow. Well, we got a little bit of swelling down here on this lateral shoot and this one too, so maybe I'll make that pruning cut right there. And then, so yeah, so we're gonna develop these coming out. Where are we at here? Oh, yep, we've got the swelling of these buds on this Buddleia, so we're gonna cut right there. I'm gonna bring this up this way, so maybe you guys can see that a little bit better. There we go. Make that cut, let that go back down gently there. Oh, we got a couple more behind us, so we can do that too. We might as well, while we're out here, let's take care of it. So you might notice this is fresh mulch, new plants planted. We are in, again, the arborist back there starting up their chipper. Sorry guys. This is our new terrace area. It's still a little unfinished. We need some capstones here to continue this down, but we've laid the first side, the left side of our garden, on the hillside in our backyard of our garden. This is pretty much done. Again, just those capstones needed. We'll put in a different irrigation system after we get the steps in over here and the other side done. But we're super excited, and we're gonna show you more about this in our upcoming garden tour coming up here before the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. So back to the deadheading of the Buddleias. Let's get in here. Again, we got those swelling of those buds right there. Those flower buds, we cut it back there. All right.
So hopefully that was helpful, you guys, in at least getting those 5 different plants deadheaded if you're growing those in your yard as well. We were debating over the list because we have a lot more plants to deadhead. You could do lavender, dahlias, maybe campanula.
Yep.
There's lots of summer plants.
Yeah, nasturtiums, bacopa, a lot of different plants. So definitely leave your comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you guys. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest garden care videos.
And thank you for watching, you guys, and for being here, and we'll see you in our next video.
Yep, see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.